Hey everyone, me Kevin here with your stimulus check and stimulus package update for August 8th. We're going to talk about Trump, his executive order, where money is coming from, what's going on with stimulus, and much more, especially related to Congress. And I have to say, I'm kind of pissed. We're facing a very real and big problem with some very real and dark possibilities. The only light is the fact that the YouTube course comes out in 2 days, and there's a link to a pre-sale for that and a coupon code down below. Now, y'all know Congress is supposed to be on recess right now, right? Well, the only thing keeping Congress out of recess and in Washington is the pressure to extend unemployment and the eviction ban. Those two things, unemployment and the eviction ban, amongst other things, but those are the big ones. To reach a compromise and to get work done. Think of it kind of like your group project in elementary school being late, and now you have to come in on a Saturday to finish your group project before fall break. Well, here's the kicker. If Trump follows through with his planned executive order, we'll likely see unemployment extended through the end of the year. We're unsure what amount. We'll see an eviction ban. We'll see student loans payments suspended, probably for federal student loans through the end of the year. And a retroactive payroll tax cut starting July 1st through the end of the year. But wait a minute. That takes the pressure off Congress to finish their school project. That's literally like the principal walking in on your group project saying, hey, you guys, we kicked the can down the road. You got another month to finish your project. You guys can all go on recess. Out of here. AKA, all the negotiation pressure for Congress to do its job evaporates with Donald Trump acting alone. And this means all of the overpaid people at Congress get to go on recess and hang out on their swing sets. But that's not the worst of it. The worst thing, the bad things, if Congress goes home to play while the American people suffer, guess what happens? No stimulus checks, no heroes pay, no school funding, no funding for testing, tracing, and treatment, no funding for essential workers, no funding for the CDC, no paycheck protection program extensions, no EIDL money. We literally get leftovers. And when I think of leftovers, I think of making sure that I have life insurance and 2 free stocks, both of which I can get in as little as 5 minutes via the links down below. Just make sure you deposit $100 to get your second free stock. On unemployment, it is possible that the unemployment extension will not be the full $600 either, that it'll be some smaller number. Trump had previously suggested increasing this to, well, from the Republican proposal of $200 per week to $400 per week. That was a White House proposal previously, so it wouldn't be a surprise if Trump floats $400 again in his executive order. But I literally can't help but feel like I'm in Super Smash Brothers and I'm dazed standing there as somebody walks up with a fan clapping me 27 times. I feel disgusted. The impact of this, by the way, Congress won't be back to work until September 8th. That's 30 days away. That's another month before they could start talking again. Not signing anything, just talking. Because, it takes a while for Congress to write a bill. In fact, you want to know what I think of when I think of how fast Congress can write a bill? Get out those typewriters and write up a bill. This is the vision that I have when I think of Congress writing a bill. And yes, that is a scene from the Vikings. Now, where would the money come from if we actually had an executive order issued by Donald Trump? Well, Trump and the White House say they're considering repurposing hundreds of billions of dollars that haven't been spent from the CARES Act and possibly raiding the FEMA fund, which is usually used for things like hurricanes. The July jobs report, which moved at a much slower pace than in prior months, we talked about that a lot yesterday, we talked about the details beyond the headline, is hardening Republicans' position at spending less stimulus money. I really feel like people get caught up in the headline, ooh, unemployment rate dropped, yay. But when we look beneath the curtain, so to speak, or under the hood, what do we see? Oh, wait a minute. That data was collected starting July 12th to the 18th. But wait, we had many more shutdowns actually take effect at the second half of the month, not in the middle of the month. Democrats say that the reason we have had the recovery we have had is because of the stimulus packages we have had. Democrats offered, as such, to cut their stimulus package $1 trillion to try to make a deal. Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin, on the other hand, have essentially given up on negotiating, deciding instead to go with the executive order direction. I personally think this is exactly what killed negotiations this week. And I teach negotiations, and I negotiate on a daily basis. Think about it. If Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer Say, hey, look, this is what we're looking for, but you know what? We'll meet in the middle. We'll come down in price. But then Mark Meadows and Mnuchin say, you know, we're really kind of just stuck on our price because you know what? We don't have to negotiate with you. We have another option. So, you know, it's kind of like take our option or we'll just go, we'll go the executive order direction. We don't really have to talk to you, Pelosi and Schumer. We're good. It's literally like the buyer of a house saying, hey, I'm a great buyer. Like, you should take my offer, even though I'm asking for a little bit of money off and I want you to fix the, you know, fumigate the house for termites. I know I want you to do those few things, but hey, can we make a deal? Meanwhile, the seller has another offer that gives the seller another option, and they don't have to take that deal. They don't have to fumigate the house. If one party in a negotiation has other options and they're not backed into a corner, the desire to negotiate a less desirable deal for themselves almost evaporates. I think of it as a reason for why negotiations failed this week. I could literally see Mark Meadows and Mnuchin at the table going, we're stuck on a number. We'll just do it a different way. We don't need you. That makes negotiating impossible. Mark Meadows then took the opportunity to throw shade at Democrats. Quote, if you're talking about compromise, even with their $1 trillion Washington, D.C. magical way of saying they're coming down $1 trillion, they can't come up with any significant cuts to their bill, Meadows said. The biggest sticking point with Republicans appears to be money for state and local governments. Democrats offered $915 billion, and Republicans did come up from zero, but they went to $150 billion. There's still a gulf between the two. To which Schumer says, they said they couldn't go much above their existing $1 trillion, and that was disappointing. Democrats are now being asked if Democrats have overplayed their hand, over-negotiated. To this, Nancy Pelosi says, we haven't overplayed our hand. We aren't overplaying our hand when we are factually presenting what the needs are. So it sounds like virtually no movement on the side of Republicans because they have another option. And this means we've literally now gone from compromise bill to short-term bill to no bill to a wand being waved on unemployment and student loans, a payroll tax cut, and evictions. Trump has a press conference planned for later today, probably around 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern. They seem to run late, and that's not to throw shade at any particular party. That's just saying, hey, presidents usually have their press conferences start late. And this could be when Donald Trump announces his executive actions. Next up, government funding ends in October 1st. So September, when Congress finally goes back to work on September 8th, will enjoy a huge government funding debate and hopefully not another government shutdown. Welcome to 2020, a year in which you definitely want to make sure you have your life insurance, your 2 free stocks, and since you might be stuck at home, how to make money from home with a YouTube course. Thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing. Check out those links down below, and we'll see you next time.